All right, guys, this has been kind of a hot button topic the last couple of days. There's been a lot going on the interwebs, on Twitter, between Endymion, the massive YouTuber, and of course, CD Projekt Red's CEO over whether or not CD Projekt Red as a company uses DEI initiatives to hire people, basing, again, their hiring on DEI initiatives. Well, you can say, okay, maybe they don't actually hire people this way, but they certainly are doing this with their mentorship programs for women only, focusing on their menstrual leave benefits for women, but nothing again for men, talking about how, again, they've signed this diversity charter as part of the European Union, all sorts of strange stuff. And of course, they focus heavily on their ESG score, as we've seen from their own videos explaining their stance on ESG. Again, if you don't understand what it is, ESG is the funding for companies based on their score, their ESG score for environmental social governance, which has entirely to do with how diverse you are as a company, for how environmentally friendly you are. You get the idea. These are the functions of ESG funding, is to help companies that are doing the good deeds, that have the right mindset, if you will, that are not the bad actors in the industry, and that therefore you get a little bit more money if you're behaving and following the rules. So of course, we have seen a lot of pushback to this because it's creating a lot of really bad games, bad movies. People are not happy with the entertainment. And this has definitely had a negative effect on companies like Sweet Baby Inc., who are nothing but DEI pushing activists. And again, we've talked about them. We've talked about how recently Chris Kindred, who was the one that kicked off the second iteration of Gamergate, just got let go, or apparently was let go a few months ago, according to Master of the TDS. But we're just finding out about it now because they tried to keep that under wraps to not add fuel to the fire. So it's not a stretch to say that DEI has definitely become a lightning rod for a lot of us, given the fact that we've seen it, whether it's in corporations or even in the hiring for management positions in certain companies, and especially in the entertainment and video game industry. We are seeing games crammed full of political activism and ideology that we just flat out do not agree with as gamers, as people who just want to consume entertaining content. There's less entertainment and more preaching time and time again these days, and it's because of these activists in the industry. So even journalists for PlayStation Lifestyle, like Zarmina Khan here, makes an okay point. I'm going to give her a little bit of grace here. She says, Dev makes a game with alluring characters, sexism, misogynist, creep, no representation. Now a dev makes a game with diverse character designs, woke, DEI, sweet baby censorship, and then says, I swear we need a mute button for Western discourse. There's no middle ground with you lot. I understand her sentiment. While I don't agree with it, I do think that unfortunately we have been trained to see DEI, even if it's not always there, given the fact that we've been subjected to it time and time again with news stories and articles and seeing it with our own two eyes in the video game industry and Hollywood. And so, yeah, we're probably going to get something wrong once in a while when it comes to whether it's somebody hired for a job based on qualifications instead of race. Unfortunately, we just look at check boxes and go, oh, well, he fits all the right boxes. He's got pronouns in the bio, or the right ethnicity, right gender, right orientation. And again, that's not always the case. I do have to be honest and say, sure, sometimes we probably get it wrong. But unfortunately, more often than not these days, it seems like the majority of people are being examined under that microscope to see how many of those boxes they check. We've even seen Disney admit this in private on these tapes from James O'Keefe, where they've done these sting operations, and Disney themselves have admitted, yeah, we hire based on diversity. If you're a straight white guy, you're not getting promoted. It's so messed up. And so we're seeing DEI have a massively negative effect on the video game industry as a whole. Games like Star Wars Outlaws from Ubisoft are just not doing what they thought they would, especially given these games have massively inflated budgets. Ubisoft spends a fortune on their games, hundreds of millions of dollars per game. And this game, again, I don't think you can point to one thing and go, oh, this game is woke because X, Y, or Z. It's a myriad of little things. Again, changing the lead actress to look more like a transgender Han Solo rather than them resembling the the voice actress who actually is a very beautiful woman that they could have resembled from, again, the motion capture and all that. The game's a buggy mess because they probably have people working on it that don't know what they're doing. So there's a lot of factors that pointed to this game being massively underwhelming. Then we've seen Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League with all their DLC characters, one after another. They keep rolling out the gay Joker, the transgender-ish Mrs. Freeze. Now you've got I guess, Deathstroke's daughter, and again, it's a race-swapped version. It's just insane that these companies continue to pump out this content, thinking, you know what, we already spent the time and money, let's just continue to put it out. They'd be better off just to scrap this game, shut down the servers, and say we're done. But they're going to keep putting this out because they've had it in the queue to get done for a while. And again, this is another game that Sweet Baby Inc. was more than happy to put their name on and have attached to it. So again, you see DEI in action with games like this. Of course, Alan Wake 2, everyone knows about Saga Anderson and the race swapping that went on in this game, where the game also features heavily a lot of the storyline surrounding Saga rather than Alan. And again, it just led to a less than remarkable game that has yet to make its budget back. Again, they are still waiting to turn a profit on this game. And I don't even have to bring up Flintlock Siege of Dawn or games like Dustborn because they were lower budget games, I'm sure. But Flintlock, I'm sure, still was probably a $70 to $100 million game. And they're trying to tout the 500,000 players they had as some sort of like amazing number, when the reality is the majority of those people probably came from Game Pass and didn't physically or digitally purchase the game. Of course, Concord, if we're going to point to one game that was DEI personified as the biggest failure in the video game industry when it comes to diversity initiatives in gaming, I'd say Concord is at the top, given the fact that, again, the characters were intentionally designed to be unappealing, to fit a certain narrative. They had the transgender character, you have overweight characters, you only have one white character, and everything else is diverse and weird and inclusive, and it's all modernized. And the game was the biggest, possibly the biggest video game failure of all time. So that brings us to where we are today. And Dragon Age the Veilguard is kind of like the final leg of this 2024 DEI tour. And you are seeing now that it has fallen outside, or is still outside of Steam's top 50 bestsellers with just over 2 weeks until release. And I know a lot of people have wisened up and they don't pre-order games. But I think this speaks volumes because the best-selling games this year still had pretty damn good pre-order numbers. If you think about Black Myth Wukong, you think about Stellar Blade, you think about games like that, they had great pre-order numbers. I'm sure Elden Ring probably did too back when it first came out, and Shadow of the Erd Tree. I'm sure the pre-order numbers for that this year were also very high. So you have the Steam DB reports saying that Dragon Age the Veilguard has moved up the charts, but not significantly. The game currently sits in the 57th position in Steam's top sellers, and it's just inside the top 30 on the most wishlisted upcoming Steam games in 28th position. Ouch. This is a game, again, that has a lot on its shoulders. Again, the Dragon Age series, the first few games were fantastic. Not everyone liked the most recent game. And of course, it has kind of fallen into decline given the fact that it's been such a long time between games. And I talked to some people online, and some people are pointing to the fact that this game's gameplay might resemble the most recent game. I think that was, Inquisition? I don't remember, to be honest. I played through it one time. I thought it was okay, and I just kind of moved on with my life. But we are seeing, again, massive disinterest in this game. A lot of people not happy with the look of the game, the aesthetics. I have a big problem with the aesthetics. Forget about even the chest surgery scars. Forget about the fact that they decided to have, pronouns and body type 1 and body type 2. Take all the woke crap aside out of the game, all the modernized representation side of it. The game aesthetically looks bad. And that's where we are today. Now we're seeing Stuttering Craig, who has been fantastic with these insider reports that he's getting, saying that he has a retail insider who says physical copy sales are not doing any better. Between both the gold and standard editions in their 800 plus stores, they have just under 2,000 pre-orders between PS5 and Xbox. Apparently there's 1,552 on PS5, 405 on Xbox, with a total of 1,957. Now guys, again, these are games that cost a premium amount of money in development. They spend years in development because, again, all the unnecessary people they have working on it. I mean, hell, I just saw something about how Elon Musk was able to land a rocket with a company of, 18,000 people or 13,000 people, and Ubisoft employs like 18,000, and they can't even launch a good game. And again, I get it. Developing a video game is different than launching a rocket, but I would certainly hope that launching a rocket's more complicated. That's all I'm going to say. And then to land that same rocket, that's pretty unbelievable. So I think, again, what you're looking at as far as the difference between two companies like that, between landing a rocket successfully and launching a successful game, is one company that has yet to be able to do it for like 3 years, is loaded full of DEI. And then you have, of course, Elon Musk and SpaceX, where he is completely opposed to DEI initiatives. Again, I'm probably a little off topic, but I just thought I could draw that comparison there. let me know what you guys think about all this. I think Dragon Age Veilguard is going to be a massive bust. I was still saying that Assassin's Creed Shadows, if it came out this year, was going to do okay as far as sales. I don't feel the same way about Dragon Age. I know some people are like, oh, people are going to simp for the game anyways because they have fond memories. The fond memories for me aren't coming back. I'm not getting melancholy or any sort of nostalgia looking at this game. When I see trailers for this game, it looks like a mess. The UI is a mess. Everything, the heads-up display is horrific. There's too much going on. I hate the color schemes. I hate the characters. On top of all the woke crap they've crammed into it. So I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this. I'll be live streaming in a minute. I will catch you guys later. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TIMEBOMB at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.